A single light flickers on the edge of darkness. The hum of the night is soft but heavy, like a question hanging in the air. You didn't plan to meet me tonight, did you? You were only trying to quiet your thoughts. One more scroll, one more clip, one more tiny escape. And then this appeared. Strange how a few pixels on a screen can feel like someone calling your name. You think you found this video, but the truth, my child, is that I found you, because you have been whispering my name without words for quite some time now. Tell me, how long have you been carrying that invisible weight? The one behind your smile? The one that hides in your laughter? Everyone around you sees your calm face, but I see the tremble in your soul. I see the nights you lie awake, replaying the same moments, asking yourself, could I have done more? You have learned how to hold the world together, but somewhere along the way, you forgot how to hold yourself. You've become the healer who never heals, the helper who silently breaks. You think I don't notice? When you sigh before answering a message, when you stare at the ceiling and pretend the ache is just exhaustion, that's when I lean closer. That's when I whisper, I am still here. Do you know what makes me smile? You, trying to fix the universe with caffeine and playlists. You think I, who hold galaxies in my palm, cannot handle the chaos of your schedule? My beloved, you forget, I was the first to design chaos. And I place balance right in its center so you'd always find your way back. So stop punishing yourself for being human. Even the stars sometimes flicker before they shine again. You remember Arjun? He stood on a battlefield, far greater than your office, but the feeling was the same, frozen, overwhelmed, unsure. He looked at me and said, I can't do this. And I looked at him the way I look at you now and said, then don't do it alone. Your battlefield is not made of arrows and armies. It's the email that steals your sleep, the decision that feels too heavy, the silence of someone you love. You stand there, trembling, and I stand beside you, unseen, waiting for you to remember that we have done this before. Take a breath, right now. Let the air move through you. Feel it. That's me. Every breath is a small proof that life still trusts you. You keep asking, where are you, Krishna? And I say, I am here, in this breath, in this heartbeat, in the moment you almost gave up but didn't. Listen carefully. You are not broken. You are simply tired of pretending to be strong all the time. And strength does not mean never falling. It means learning to rise softer each time. The world will tell you to fight, to harden, to compete. But I ask you, when did softness become weakness? The river doesn't break the mountain by force. It shapes it by persistence. That's the kind of strength I am teaching you. When was the last time you allowed yourself to just feel without judging the feeling? Not numbing it, not explaining it, just feeling it, because that is where healing begins. This is only the beginning of our talk. Stay with me, because before this night ends, I will remind you who you truly are. Not the mask, not the memory, but the eternal spark you forgot you carried. Rain begins to fall, soft and rhythmic, like memory returning. You know, there was a time when you heard me easily, when every breeze felt like a message, and every sunrise looked like a promise made just for you. You didn't have to search for peace back then. You were peace. But life happened, didn't it? Dreams turned into deadlines, love turned into lessons, and somewhere between L will try and I am fine. You built walls that even prayers couldn't climb. You keep saying, Krishna, you never speak to me. But it isn't that I stopped speaking. It's that the world got louder. Notifications became your mantra, and worry became your morning ritual. You traded silence for constant sound, and in doing so, you forgot the language of your own soul. Tell me, when was the last time you sat in stillness without reaching for a screen? When did you last eat without thinking of what's next? When did you last breathe like it mattered? I am not scolding you. I am reminding you. You can't hear a whisper if you keep standing next to a drum. Sometimes I let things fall apart, just to make enough noise for you to notice the silence underneath. You often ask me, why do people hurt me? But my child, people are mirrors. They show you where your love still needs to grow, where your patience is still fragile, where your self-worth still trembles. You learn the divine not in temples, but in traffic, not in chance, but in conversations that test your kindness. Every person you meet is an instrument I use to teach you about yourself. The friend who betrayed you, they taught you boundaries. The one who stayed, they taught you gratitude. The one who ignored you, they taught you to listen to your own heart first. Nothing is wasted. Even pain is a teacher in disguise, wearing the face of loss, so you will look deeper for meaning. You have been so hard on yourself lately. You replay every choice like a judge, as if regret could change the past. Tell me, would you scold a child for learning to walk and falling? Then why scold your own soul for trying? I never asked you to be perfect. I only asked you to be present. The world doesn't need flawless people. It needs honest ones. Those who admit they stumble, yet keep walking toward the light. When you forgive yourself, you make room for me to move again. You take destiny so seriously. I see you trying to control every outcome, as if life were a math equation and I were your calculator. Do you know how funny it looks from here? You worry about missing the right opportunity, but sometimes I delay it because your hands are too full of what you won't release. When you finally drop what's heavy, you will realize the door was never locked. You were just holding the handle too tightly. Do you want to find me again? Then, look for me in the smallest, simplest moments, in the way morning light touches your face before you open your eyes, in the smile of the vendor who remembers your name, in the silence right after laughter fades, in the taste of water when you are truly thirsty. That is me. That has always been me. I never left. I simply waited for you to notice. So now I ask you, before we go further, what would happen if you slowed down long enough to truly feel the life you are racing through? What might you hear if you turned down the noise for just one day? Because the distance between us is not measured in miles or lifetimes. It's measured in moments of awareness. And awareness is only one breath away. Stay with me. In the next breath, I will remind you how to rise again, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be. Every soul comes into this world carrying a spark, a tiny fragment of my own flame. That spark is your purpose. Not a job description, not a social title, but the reason the universe whispered you into being. You keep asking, Krishna, what am I supposed to do? But purpose is not something you find one day like a coin on the road. Purpose is what grows when love and courage meet. You think you are lost, but confusion is only a fog before the sunrise. The sailor does not curse the fog, he listens for the sound of waves. In the same way, when you cannot see where to go, listen for what still feels alive in you. That is me calling through the mist. Do not rush to fix the fog. Learn to move through it with faith. Because sometimes the divine hides the map so that you will finally look at the compass within. Do you remember the battlefield of Arjun? He wanted to drop his bow to walk away. But I told him, rise and do your duty. Because action born from love is devotion. Your dharma is not a monument, it's a melody. Each day you are meant to play a few notes, kindness, integrity, patience, creativity, and together they become your life song. The world is a grand orchestra, and I am both conductor and listener. Some play loudly, some softly, but what matters is that each one plays sincerely. And you keep waiting for a stage, while the music is already playing around you. So dance where you stand. Think of your heart as a garden. Every intention is a seed. If you keep planting doubt, you will harvest fear. If you plant patience, you will harvest peace. So, tend to your inner soil daily. Weeds of resentment grow quietly. Pull them before they choke the flowers of joy. And remember, I send the rain and the sun, but only you can choose what to plant. Creation is a spark. Destruction is a storm, but preservation, that is the rhythm that keeps the universe alive. I hold that rhythm for worlds and galaxies, but you are asked to hold it within your own small universe, your home, your relationships, your heart. Think of love like a lamp. It doesn't burn forever, just because it once burned brightly. It survives because someone tends to it. A little oil each day, a word of kindness, a moment of listening, a quiet thank you. A relationship is like a garden. Passion plants the seed, but patience grows the flower. Neglect turns blossoms into thorns. If you stop watering because the first rain came, the soil will soon crack beneath your feet. Do not confuse routine with boredom. Routine is the rhythm of life itself. Even the sun rises in the same east each day, and yet no dawn has ever been identical. Bring that reverence into your connections. Speak honestly, Listen without preparing your reply. Hold a hand when pride wants you to cross your arms. When anger visits, breathe before you answer. The wind cannot be calmed by shouting at it. Sometimes silence repairs more than words ever could. I sit upon the ocean of milk, surrounded by serpents, symbols of chaos. I do not banish them, I rest among them. Because peace is not the absence of disturbance, it is the presence of steadiness. You can do the same. When life roars, become the still point. When the crowd rushes, slow down. When everything demands a reaction, offer reflection instead. Do you know why a tree heavy with fruit bends low? Because fullness teaches humility, but a branch with nothing to offer always reaches upward in pride. Let your victories make you gentler, not louder. Let your knowledge turn into kindness, not comparison. When you lower your voice, truth becomes easier to hear. And when you are wrong, say quickly, apology is not surrender, it is cleansing. A heart that can bow easily never breaks, it only bends. Forgiveness is the water that keeps love alive. You say, they don't deserve my forgiveness. But forgiveness was never a gift for them, it was a release for you. Holding anger is like holding hot coal and waiting for the other to burn. Drop it, let the fire die. Peace will rush in like cool rain on scorched ground. You are an instrument, and every relationship is a duet. Sometimes the music is joyous, sometimes dissonant. If one note falters, do not smash the instrument, tune it. The melody of love always returns when both players listen more than they perform. There will be bonds that cannot be saved. Let them end with grace. Preservation does not mean clinging to what is dying. It means honoring what once lived. Even I, the preserver, allow worlds to dissolve, so that new worlds may rise. So, if someone must leave your orbit, bless them as they go. Gratitude closes chapters that anger keeps bleeding. You keep asking for balanced relationships, but balance begins within. A restless mind creates restless connections. If your thoughts are storms, your world will shake with you. So guard your peace as sacred duty. Meditate not to escape life, but to return to it with gentler eyes. Sit quietly each day, even for a few breaths, and watch your thoughts as clouds crossing the sky. Soon you will realize you are the sky, not the clouds. You worry that people don't text you back fast enough. Do you know how long it takes me to spin a planet? Patience, my dear. Divine timing is rarely aligned with your Wi-Fi speed. Trust the slow unfolding. Anything built in haste will crumble just as quickly. Preservation is not always grand. It hides in tiny choices, answering with kindness when you could have ignored, lighting a lamp for someone else when your own wax is low, choosing silence instead of sarcasm, offering one more chance when your ego whispers, enough. These are invisible acts that sustain the world more than any prayer chanted aloud. Ask yourself tonight, what in my life still has life but is starving for attention? Is it a friendship, a dream, a faith, my own body? Whatever answer arises, feed it. Because preservation is love in motion, and love is the only true form of divinity. Everything that lives must change. Even the stars collapse to become light again. So why are you so afraid of endings? Change is not your enemy. It is my hand rearranging the puzzle. You keep clinging to one piece, whispering, "This was my life." But I see the whole picture you have yet to glimpse. You have heard that I am the preserver, but I am also the gentle destroyer of illusions. What you call loss, I call alchemy. I turn attachments into awareness, grief into gratitude, fear into freedom. Every person who left was a teacher. Every failure was a sculptor removing what was not essential. If you could see what I see, you would thank the fire that refined you. Can you feel that? That little loosening in your chest? That is the beginning of surrender. Life moves like the tide. It comes to kiss your feet, then pulls away. If you chase it, you stumble. If you stand still, it returns on its own. Surrender is learning to breathe with the rhythm of the sea, inhaling faith, exhaling control. You keep trying to steer the river with a spoon. You plan, calculate, worry, and then wonder why you are exhausted. Release the spoon. When you stop fighting the current, you discover that the current has always known the way home. I guide every drop. You only need to trust the flow. You often say, "Krishna, give me patience," and give it now. If I answered instantly, What would you learn? Patience is the gym where your soul builds strength. Every delay is me whispering, grow here a little longer. Do you know why I play the flute? Because breath must move freely to create music. When you cling too tightly to control, the melody stops. When you exhale, truly exhale, life starts to sing again. Surrender is not defeat, it is duet. You play your note, I play mine, and together we create harmony out of chaos. Look at the sky. The stars don't compete, they simply shine where they are. Some fade, some burst, some wait behind clouds, but none forget their purpose. Be like that. Shine quietly in your corner of the cosmos. Your light doesn't need an audience, it only needs authenticity. The long night is over. You have walked through fear, through fire, through the ache of letting go. Now the horizon blushes with light. Do you feel it? That faint warmth spreading in your chest, that is awakening. Every sunrise is a rehearsal of resurrection. The world dies each night and is reborn without complaint. Learn from the sky. Do not drag yesterday's dust into today's light. Let morning be forgiveness made visible. Take a slow breath. This is how beginnings sound. Quiet, simple, alive. You often ask, how do I stay in this peace once I have found it? The answer is softer than you think. Live gently. Peace is not a fortress you build. It is a path you walk one mindful step at a time. You maintain it by the way you speak to yourself in the mirror, by how you treat the ones who cannot repay you, by how you breathe when impatience knocks. Every small act done with awareness polishes the soul until it reflects me again. Imagine you carry a lantern through a dark forest. The flame inside is love. If you rush, the wind will snuff it out. If you guard it too tightly, the smoke will choke it. But if you walk with steadiness and care, the light not only survives, it begins to guide others. Be that lantern. Do not preach light, be it. Do you know that joy is also a discipline? It is choosing wonder in ordinary things. The taste of fruit, the laughter of a friend, the rhythm of rain on your window. You don't have to earn joy, you only have to notice it. Joy is faith made visible. Every time you smile sincerely, the universe exhales with relief. You humans think spirituality means being serious all the time. But have you ever seen me without a smile? Even the cosmos dances. Why should you stand still in gloom? Laugh often. It confuses your fears and delights the divine. You are the drop, and I am the ocean. For a while, the drop believes it is separate, tossed by waves of circumstance. Then one day it remembers, I was water all along. That remembrance is enlightenment. Carry it gently through your days. Do not be surprised when storms return. Awakening is not immunity, it is navigation. You will still feel anger, grief, doubt, but you will no longer drown in them. You will float, remembering that every wave is made of the same essence as the sea. Do you know life is a song that never truly ends? It only changes key. Some days you will sing high notes of success, some days low tones of solitude. But remember, both are needed for harmony. Even silence between notes has purpose. It gives the music breath. What if enlightenment isn't a lightning strike, but a gentle awareness that never leaves you? It's in the way you tie your shoes with patience, in the way you pause before judging, in the way you whisper gratitude before sleep. Be faithful in small holiness. Great miracles are only the echo of tiny, consistent acts of love. You pray for peace, then argue in traffic. You seek enlightenment, then refresh notifications every 2 minutes. My beautiful soul, you don't need another mantra. You need to breathe. If you can find stillness at a red light, you have already begun mastering life. Keep your heart clean as a mirror. When dust of judgment settles, wipe it with compassion. Only then can you see me clearly in your reflection. I am not hidden. I am simply waiting for the mirror to clear. So walk lightly, speak truthfully, forgive quickly. Let your life become a gentle ripple of divinity in motion. Wherever you go, carry the peace we built tonight. When the world forgets kindness, let your presence remind it. My letter is almost done, but our conversation is eternal. You have listened long enough to know this isn't only a message, it's a remembrance. You are not learning something new. You are remembering what you always knew, but forgot in the noise of living. Look at you. After all the storms, you're still here. Your heart beats. Your lungs rise and fall like gentle tides. This is proof of resilience more sacred than any scripture. I never promised you a life without pain. I promised that even in pain, you would never be alone. I will never demand worship. I will invite awareness. I do not count your prayers. I listen to your intention. I am not impressed by ritual. I am moved by sincerity. Each time you act with compassion, you worship me more deeply than any temple bell could ever ring. Each time you forgive, you restore a tiny corner of heaven on earth. Carry that knowing, you and I are not separate. I am the pulse in your wrist, the breath between words, the pause between thoughts. When darkness visits again, it will come, as night always follows day. When it does, do not panic. Simply remember this conversation. Close your eyes, place your hand on your chest, and whisper, "My Krishna is here." Darkness is not punishment. It is rest for the light. Even the moon disappears to renew her glow. So, when you can't see me, trust that I am working in silence, mending threads you don't yet notice. And if you forget all of this tomorrow, don't worry. I have infinite patience. I will just send another coincidence to remind you. You call it luck. I call it gentle persistence. Remember, I am not only God in distant temples. I am your friend walking beside you in silence, the one who understands your language even when you speak none. Talk to me as a friend. No formality needed. Complain, cry. I have seen galaxies born and still find joy in hearing your small stories. Now, the letter ends, but the dialogue continues in your every breath. Go live, fall in love with ordinary moments, give generously, laugh loudly, work honestly, rest deeply. Let every heartbeat be an offering, every breath a prayer, every act of kindness. That is enlightenment, not escape, but embodiment. So, my beloved child, when the screen fades and silence returns, remember this. You are not trying to reach the divine. You are already made of it. Your story is not a detour. It is the path. Every question you asked was already answered in your own heart.